Imagine if your morning routine didn't feel like something to survive, but rather something to enjoy.
Peace truly starts at your routine.
Hey babes, I'm Madeline.
And I'm Deja.
And welcome back to the Elegance Exchange. So what's the importance of a good routine? Why do we need it?
I feel like when we hear like routine, we kind of think of, wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you go to school, you come home, you do your chores, you eat dinner, you go to bed. That's it. But you need to break your daily routine into the morning routine and then the night routine. They're both two separate routines, but they're just as beneficial to you.
Absolutely. And remember, you are human. You might not stick to this routine every single night, and that's okay. All you need to do is slowly improve it just to, get yourself into the flow of it, get yourself into the habit. That's all that matters.
And this routine should work for you. So many people have so many different ideas of what an ideal morning routine is or what an ideal night routine is to be the most beneficial or to be the most successful in life. But you need to find a routine that works for you and a routine that you can be consistent with going forward.
Right, and a morning routine honestly prepares you for the beginning of the day. I know if I am scrambling out the door, running, trying to figure everything out and find everything and get ready at the same time, I get so aggravated and I am not a nice person to be around whenever that happens. So a morning routine really helps prevent that.
And like you get stressed out and like that starts off your day. Like everyone hates whenever they wake up, like say like you missed your alarm and then you're like, oh my god, I gotta go, and then like you're rushing and everything's going wrong, and then that's the start of your day. But like if you were to have a nice routine, if you were to wake up early, if you were to have enough time to eat breakfast, and you had enough time to go and get out and like get some air and actually breathe, you'd be just fine.
And honestly, I think we've all had those situations where we've been running out the door so fast that we either put our shirt on backwards or it's inside out. So keeping a routine really helps you stay organized and it helps you stay put together always.
And then another thing too with these morning routines, it also builds trust and it also builds discipline, because you have to be able to trust yourself to wake up on time, the same time every day, to trust yourself to have enough time. It's just, you have to be disciplined. If you know you want to wake up early at 5 a.m. because you want time to go to the gym and you want time to go and eat breakfast, then you have to wake up at 5 a.m. And if you do not wake up at 5 a.m. like you originally wanted, then you have to hold yourself accountable for it.
Exactly. And think about it this way. If you were making plans with a friend, would you ditch those plans with a friend simply because you didn't want to wake up in the morning? No. Or I would hope not. So why are you ditching the plans with yourself?
Exactly. Now, since we're talking about, our morning routine, we need to go into more depth about what is more of an ideal morning routine for you to have. Like, what are the components that is considered a good morning routine?
Right, and once again, not everybody is going to follow this. I know for me personally, I have a different morning routine every single day. I still do the fundamental habits like brushing your teeth, getting ready for the day and getting dressed and combing your hair. But I typically have a little bit of a different time frame, or I'm, one day I might go work out in the morning, or one day I might just choose to have a nice chill little morning and read. It can kind of depend.
Whereas my day, like my typical morning school day is waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Now, it is very hard. That's the point of a routine. That's where the discipline comes in. Because sometimes I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. But I know if I have to, like if I want to go and do more things and have a good day, I have to wake up at this time. My morning routine consists of, waking up early every day, drinking water, heading to the gym, and having some form of exercise just to wake up my mind and body. Because it's so important. I feel like a lot of people underestimate like at least getting some type of movement in before you start the day, because it really does make you stay awake, and then it kind of gives you that like boost of serotonin afterwards, because you're like
that is so important.
You're like, okay, like I'm good for the day, I just did this, I just did that, we're all good.
Right. The one thing that you should always be consistent with is the time that you wake up, because say one day you wake up at 7 a.m. and then the next you wake up at 12 p.m. What that's going to do is it's going to disrupt your circadian rhythm, which is basically your 24-hour clock. It's the part in your mind that tells you to wake up at 7 o'clock every day, or it's the part that tells you, oh, okay, it's time to wake up. You have to have that, and if you keep changing your sleep pattern, you're not going to have it, and it's going to be disrupted, and you're going to feel 10 times more tired than you would if you stuck to a routine.
Or how like sometimes every day you like for school you were like, okay, I have to wake up at 7:30, and then sometimes you don't even set up an alarm, but you still end up waking up at 7:30.
Yes.
That is good circadian rhythm. That's like that's your body telling you, hey, we're usually up at this time, we need to get up, let's go. And that's what you need.
Right, and honestly, a good way to shift your perspective is, you know how in high school you get up at like 5 a.m. every day. You have all of these extracurricular activities that you're doing. You have so much schoolwork, but you still have energy to do it. Whereas whenever you're in college, you can't even wake up for an 8 a.m. class. 9 times out of 10, it's probably because your college sleep cycle is way different than your high school sleep cycle. Think about it. In high school, your parents probably got onto you to go to bed early or to make sure you're getting enough sleep. You always woke up at the same time because you had classes at the same time every single day.
Exactly.
Whereas in college, you know, you're kind of on your own. You have to tell yourself to go to sleep, and you have to go to your classes that are at different times every single day. So your body's not in that rhythm like it was in high school. So a lot of the times you're going to be a lot more tired.
And like I said, a morning routine also consists of drinking water, or at least getting some type of nutrition in you. But the importance about drinking water is that it kickstarts your metabolism. So like, you know, you kind of have that little energy going on. You're kind of fueled and ready for the day, because without it, I know if I don't eat something, if I don't drink something beforehand,
You don't want to talk to her.
No, I'm a zombie. My body is there, but my mind is not. Like, you can say one thing and it's going straight out of the other ear, because I'm just not there.
Yeah, and you might not be a morning person, and that's okay. I understand it. My
We
mother is
understand.
not. I am very much a morning person, but I am not a night person. And so you are always going to have those differences. And so you kind of just have to look at your routine and know that, okay, I'm not a morning person. I can't get up at 5 a.m. every day. Maybe you get up at 9 a.m., you know?
You can
adjust it.
You can still make a morning routine that works for you. Thank you.
Exactly. So let's move on to our night routine. And this is where I really come into play.
Because I do not, it's vice versa. You got the
Right, you have the best of both worlds here.
Because I do not have a good night routine. My night routine is different every time, because I come to my house at different times because I'm always doing something. Whereas Madeline has a really good night routine.
If I don't do my night routine, guys, don't talk to me.
She says her night routine all the time, and I'm like, dude, I'm just going to bed. I'm just gonna shower and go to bed.
So I always come home, and the first thing that I do typically is, because I get home, you know, at the typical time, 5 p.m., and I always go on an evening walk, especially in the fall and the winter, because that is honestly what sets my mind and gets me ready to just relax and let everything else go that happened that day. So I go on my evening walk, and some days I go on a 3-mile walk, some days I go on a 1 mile. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And then I come home, I shower, and then I cook my dinner, because fueling your body is so important, and you really need to cook for yourself. And I know it can be hard. Don't get me wrong. We've all fallen victim to this.
Yeah. Sometimes
we've all done it.
Sometimes we're like, oh, we're gonna cook something, and then it ends up being something we don't like, or we're like, oh, I don't really want to cook anything anymore.
Exactly. So cook for yourself. You know, I know that sounds hard. Trust me, it's not that bad. Or get a meal service where they're cooking, you know, healthier options for you. And then always, 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 after your shower, do your skincare routine for the night. That helps get you settled, and you should have a skincare routine. Even if you're a guy, trust me, you should do it. It's gonna be better in the long run. And then sometimes, depending on the day, I'll do a little bit more exercise. So one thing that I love to do to really shut down my body is yoga or Pilates, depending on my mood. And that's just really gonna help shut down your mind even more. And if you do it at the same time every single day, it's gonna kind of kick your brain into, oh, it's time to go to bed, or oh, let's unwind. But another thing is finishing off your evening with journaling or reading. Deja loves to journal, and it's just one of the best things you can do for yourself. It lets you reflect, and it lets you put everything away from you.
You kind of like collect your thoughts in one way, and then like you kind of just like empty out your brain, empty out your thoughts, and you're just like, okay, now I'm just gonna go to bed. But with that being said, with Madeline sharing about her night routine, we're gonna tell you guys about what an ideal night routine also consists of. So first things first, you need to limit the screen time.
Yes.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I was struggling with this yesterday. Madeline even told me today, she was like, I saw that you were up late. You need to limit the screen time on your phone, because it prevents it's like just a bunch of distractions, and then it prevents you from going to bed at a reasonable time. Because I can be laying in my bed at 10 o'clock, I won't go to bed till 11:30, and then I'm just on my phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, like I need to go to bed. So if you also struggle with that, you need to, one, put your phone up, at least on a shelf somewhere where you can't get it,
or in another room.
Exactly. Or go on your settings. There's literally a settings in the app where you can just go and you can limit the screen time, and it shuts down the apps for you at a certain time. So like if you want to be in bed by 10 o'clock and you want everything shut off, just go into the app and say, I don't want any notifications from Instagram. I don't want nothing. And it literally will close the app and restrict you from opening it until it goes back on that time interval.
Exactly. And maybe you do really struggle with this because you like to have something to focus on whenever you're about to fall asleep. Maybe you're the type of person that has to listen to the TV, okay? Put on a podcast, put on a sleep podcast. I love a good history podcast for whenever I'm going to bed. There's nothing better because it's kind of boring, which I love history, don't get me wrong, but it can be boring, and so that kind of helps shut your mind down. And then you still have something to listen to, but you're not getting all that blue light.
And then speaking of shutting your mind down, you also need to consist some type of hobby that soothes your mind. It's like Madeline mentioned, the yoga, or maybe even my journaling, reading a book, like just something that doesn't require electronic and something that doesn't stress you out and kind of just puts you at ease, you know?
Right, and if you have a hard time shutting off your brain, you're totally normal. Everybody does.
It's a human thing.
I know I do. I'm an overthinker, absolutely. So get a little pen and paper and keep it next to your bed always. And whenever you have a thought that pops into your mind and you're like, oh gosh, hopefully I don't remember this tomorrow, or don't forget this tomorrow, write it down. Okay?
Put a star next to it and everything. Like, just write it down.
Write it down, because then it's off of your mind, it's out of your brain, and you'll see it tomorrow and remember. And then you're not on your phone writing it in your notes or writing it in your calendar, because truthfully that's going to mess up your cycle. If you are almost asleep and then you go on your phone, you just disrupted everything, and now it's going to take another 30 minutes for you to fall asleep.
And then, like I said, I think most importantly, I feel like when it comes to nighttime and everyone's like winding down, they just want to be on their phone. But like, your phone is your biggest distraction. You just end up doom scrolling. That's all that is. And then like, you look at the time and it's like, boom, it's 11:30.
Sorry guys, we don't mean to sound like some old ladies.
We don't, man, kids these days and the phones. We don't mean to sound like that, but legitimately, like, we need some discipline.
And honestly, going back to the morning routine, I am not on my phone the first 30 minutes to an hour whenever I wake up, because I know if I am, something is going to start off my day in a negative way, and it's just not good for you. But let's find some solutions, okay? So you need to make the routine that works for you.
Not some successful billionaire on TikTok. No. We always see those videos where it's like, the morning routine of a CEO or the morning routine of a billionaire, and it's like, wake up at 4:30, do this work, do all these meetings, you know, write everything down, go to the gym for an hour and a half, and it's like, whoa, you know, realistically, realistically, I'm not going to want to wake up at 4:30 a.m., go to the gym, and then do all this other junk.
Well, and the reason why that is so successful for them is because that is what works for them. It doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody else. Like we said, if you are a night person and you do not get up early in the morning, getting up at 4:30 a.m. is just going to make you miserable. You're never going to enjoy it. So don't put yourself through that stress and chaos of getting up and trying to convince yourself that you're a morning person, because it's okay if you're not. Some of us just don't work like that.
And these people are so consistent with these routines because it works best for them. They know what they are capable of doing. They know what they enjoy. They know what their body can do. You do not have to do the same exact routine. And when you find a routine that does work for you, like I said, consistency is key. It really does help with your consistency, and you're like, okay, well, that's manageable. I can do that. Or if I can't do that, maybe we can tweak it so a way that I can.
Right, and I guarantee you these people are going to have days where they can't do their morning routine because they have a business meeting or they have kids, and sometimes it just doesn't always happen that way. So understand that you are not alone, and you are not crazy if you can't stick to a routine every single day. But lastly, make small adjustments to your routine, okay? Don't try and completely shift your routine all in one go, because that's not going to be successful, and you're going to get discouraged whenever you can't stick to it.
Exactly, because like it's a human nature thing to do. When we realize, when we plan something, we're like, oh, we're going to do this, and then you wake up and it's like, oh, I did not do any of that. I'm a failure. Like, that was a waste of time.
It's rough.
Exactly. Like, you kind of, it's like a strike to the ego. It's like, dang, like, I can't do that.
Ouch. Exactly. And we go into this, I talk about this book all the time. It's one of my favorite books ever, but Atomic Habits talks about habit stacking and the importance of working new habits into the habits that you already have established. So, you know, you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth. Maybe you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, and then pair it with a glass of water right after. Put that glass of water or a bottle of water next to your sink so you remember. And that's going to help you achieve your goals, but it's going to keep things smaller where it's manageable.
Exactly.
So yeah, I know this was a enjoyable routine episode. I don't even know what I was saying, but I know that this is, you know, not the most fun topic to talk about, but it's so important.
And if anything, we definitely encourage you to go and make a routine, whether it's a morning routine or it's night routine. Go and start
something.
Yeah, exactly. Go start something. Go try something. Find whatever works best for you.
Right, and we are on a bunch of different social media platforms.
We're on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube, and then we recently added Instagram Threads to that list, so you can find us practically anywhere.
And definitely make sure to go check us out and leave us a comment down below if you enjoyed this video or if you want to see something more specific from us. We'd love your input. And there's going to be a video linked here and something that you will like also down in the description, and then our episode or season 3 playlist. Sorry guys, my brain's all kinds of over the place today. But alright, we hope you have a good day. Bye!